Now, in real time, this is why I say no. In real time, as the talent is speaking and doing their scripts or performing, you need to have the ability to direct them using all this memory. I don't think AI is there. I don't know if it ever will be, because you're asking it to watch and ingest something as it's being recorded and then have taste, right? The one thing that AI can't replicate is taste. It can copy style, it can copy cadence, but it can't recognize taste, because taste is who we are as people. Taste is personality, and taste is the ability to feel what other people can feel after they watch a video. But you have to be able to do that in the production stages.
The Intelligence Forge podcast is sponsored by Permasize AI Forge. The Intelligence Forge podcast is sponsored by Permasize AI Forge. At Permasize AI Forge, we know you're ambitious, but are manual tasks like admin, lead generation, nurturing, and onboarding holding you back from truly scaling your business? Imagine saving dozens of hours every week, freeing you to deepen client relationships and execute high-impact strategy. Our clients aren't just imagining it. They're saving countless hours per week and doubling their revenue within months. We custom-build AI automation systems that eliminate the grind. From effortless lead generation and nurturing to seamless onboarding, we give you back the most valuable resource, your time, so you can focus on building those vital human connections and driving strategic growth. Stop letting repetitive tasks limit your potential. It's time to build a business that works for you, not the other way around. Ready to unlock your true scaling power? Visit PermasizeAIForge.com and book your free AI audit call today to discover how you can save time and double your revenue. And don't forget to like and subscribe to the Intelligence Forge YouTube channel and hit that notification bell so you never miss a new episode.
From corporate noise to revenue-driven direction, how video content becomes a business asset. Welcome to the Intelligence Forge. Today, I'm thrilled to have Sai joining us. Sai is the co-founder of Recap Studio, where they're doing something most video production companies misses entirely. They are turning on-camera presence into actual revenue. Sai, thanks so much for being here today.
I appreciate you having me. Thank you. I couldn't have said it better myself. Thank you. That was a great intro.
All right, thank you. Okay, I'd love you to introduce yourself, Recap Studio, and your role there in your own world.
Yeah.
What should our listener know about what you do?
Yeah. So Recap Cultr Studio is a video production studio with an eye for business strategy and revenue growth. Our goal is to take creativity to be the filmmakers that we are, but not shy away from understanding our clients' goals. And at the end of the day, you make videos to build your brand, and you make videos to create revenue. And we understand that. And it goes into more than just making another social media video for clicks and comments. It's not really, engagement is good, but engagement doesn't always translate to money. And this is something that we've understood. Myself and my co-founder, Mike Stambouli, have been together for 2 years working in this company. It started from the two of us having we were in the same industry. We were both in the real estate industry. We got together just for one day. He was trying to solicit business from the company that I was working for. And he mentioned videos, and I went to school. Actually, I have a degree in TV and film. So I just went the corporate route. My life took a different direction. But, we took this background that both of us had for being in corporate for so many years, and we're applying the knowledge we understand about sales and business growth and using our creativity through filmmaking to help for all these businesses to leverage.
All right, fantastic. Thank you for sharing the background. But take us back to August 2023 when you co-founded Recap. How did you start this business? And what kind of funding was available to you and your partner at the beginning? And if you are comfortable sharing, fast forward today, where are you guys in terms of revenue, numbers of employees, in terms of expansion?
Yeah, sure. So towards the end of 2022, I was working in a title insurance business, and Mike was working in a real estate agency. And prior to that, like I mentioned, we both spent time in corporate. He was in dental practices, being a director of operations. I had, up to that point, I was a general manager of a title insurance company, and I was in the world of software. And then I was in manufacturing before that. But I had always, for some reason, from age 23 all the way to when this business started, in 2023, I was always in management. I was not in management for the first year of my career. And then after that, I wound up overseeing people. For whatever reason, I was always put in charge of others because I was able to create good communication and create vision across the board. Now, I didn't go to school for nothing, right? So to that point, I felt like I went to school for nothing because I was a film major working in a corporate world. I had worked at Fox 29 in Philadelphia as an intern, and I was there for a couple months, actually about a year almost. And it was a great time, and I learned a lot. And after that, I was working with small sports entertainment businesses, just kind of directing and helping the talent get through their message, but nothing really for like full throttle. 2022 came, Mike and I started working together. I started giving him pointers on his videos, and then he started asking me questions about film. Now, Mike's a techie, right? He understands all the equipment and how everything works. I had an eye, but the reason I never pursued filmmaking is because I never really had an interest in learning the equipment. I was always a writer or a director or a producer, bringing people together. He had no directing skills and no writing skills besides like what he can do for himself. He was not there. He was there for other people to use as a camera person and an editor. So we came together, we started working. It was a side hustle. And then unfortunately, I was laid off from my job in 2023 as a general manager of a title insurance business. And I had two choices, and the choices were dust off my resume and look for something, or go all in with my side hustle. And I have my wife is very supportive, and I told her, give me 6 months. And if this doesn't work in 6 months, I'll piece together my resume and I'll go back to corporate. I'll find a job. And she obliged. And at the point, Mike was already full in with the business and was able to support him. And so there I was, it was either make it or don't. Right? Make it or break it moment. And I took the leap of faith, and here we are, almost 3 years later, and we're really making it happen.
Fantastic. That's a good story. Thank you so much for sharing that. All right. You've built something impressive in just, over 2-3 years now. Let's talk about how you stay competitive in such a fast-moving space. What specific AI tool or technology are you guys currently leveraging to stay competitive? I'm curious, apart from obvious ones like ChatGPT, Gemini, Claude, are there other specialized tools or technology that you're using within the video production space to manage your processes?
Yes. So the one value proposition we have that separates us from our competitors is, and this sounds crazy to think, but in our area, it's a very localized business, right? So we're in New Jersey. We service businesses in New Jersey, Pennsylvania, New York. We're even servicing somebody in Minnesota. And the way we're able to do it is, what separates us from a lot of people is our ability to understand what people want to do with the business, right? What the video has to make for a business. And I'm a director. No companies, or should I say limited amount of companies, actually have a director. It's just a cinematographer or a videographer who says, here's my camera, go. And they're not writing scripts for you and all that. And to mention what you're saying about the AI, so what we have used which has been a phenomenal tool for us. I'm not sure if you've used Gamma before, but we use Gamma. So what I do, my workflow, let's just say, like if I'm making a commercial for somebody, my workflow is we have a conversation through Google where we make sure that it's recorded so we get the full transcription. From there, I ask all the questions, and then I take that to ChatGPT, and then I ask ChatGPT to just put all the thoughts together. Then I ask it to ask me 10 to 15 questions. If I wanted to take this conversation and turn it into a video, I want it to interview me. So I have it interview me, and I just speak to it verbally. It records everything that I say. From there, I have it then give me ideas for slide decks. From there, I take it and I put it into Gamma. And then for Gamma, I make it have a website basically, or a single page website that I then take and I send to the client, and I say, okay, based on our conversation, based on what I want to do from a creative vision, because I do have my creative vision. While ChatGPT is asking me questions, I'm really just leveraging the questions to think about what the commercial needs to look like.
Right.
And then when I figure out what the commercial looks like, I bring it all to the client. I say, okay, based on our conversation, here's this Gamma page. Take a look at it. tell me if I miss something. Right. And they let me know if I miss something, or if they're like, if they're stuck on a color and they want olive green to be part of the lighting choices, then we'll go with an olive green light or whatever it is. So from there, I get the information from them and I ingest it. Then what we do is, I'm not sure if you're familiar with artlist.io. So we go to Artlist and I talk to Artlist and I get it to create some AI videos like Sora for storyboarding purposes. I actually use that, and we use Motion Array to help us with music. So we have Motion Array helping us with auto-generated music, so I can say what kind of music I want Artlist to give me. And it gives me like a roundabout kind of sound. And then I go and get samples that are like copyrighted material. Like if we want to use a song that's already out there on the billboards, and I take this idea of, if we could use this song, which we obviously can't because they're copyrighted material.
Sure.
And then we ask these AI tools to kind of give us a roundabout style of music that we're looking for. And then I use it to storyboard. So then at that point, I take the commercial, I take my deck, and I give them the deck, and I'm like, okay, this is just AI. Please ignore this. There's text on the screen. Just watch this video. Does this feel and look like something you would want to shoot? They give me the green light, they give me their notes, and then we actually come and shoot ourselves. So AI has been leveraged in all of the pre-production phases. As far as the production phases go, we really don't use AI unless we have to like snatch some B-roll or some like extra footage from AI. That's really where we would use it. Scripting is me. I don't really use AI for scripts. I will use it, like I said, all in the pre-production phases. Once we're like towards the end of pre-production, I actually have to create a script. I make sure that after I write a script, I get it approved again by the client. So it's a really collaborative process. And then from there, it's, pre-production's done. Production and post-production, there's actually no AI used at all because, again, the ideas are now coming to life. We're actually shooting things. I mean, once in a while, we might remove something. Like if there's like a random broom that the cinematographer missed in the background, we'll select it and remove it from the background using our tools. But it's not really, we don't really rely on AI at that point from the standpoint of like making a commercial or making videos for social media ads. AI really stays in the pre-production phases.
Oh, that's quite a long process, but I love it because it's well detailed. Anyone that hears this definitely will understand, even if you're not working in this industry. I'm going to come back to this workflow a little bit later, but I want to ask the magic wand question, which everyone gets to answer on the podcast. So it's your turn. If you have a magic wand today and you could instantly improve one thing about Recap Studio's operation, what will it be and why?
The operation. So we are a cinematographer and a director. We outsource the editing a lot. If I could have one AI tool that could, like a magic wand, I would say, because we use help, right? So we use editors that convey our vision, and I have writers who I use. I would use an AI tool that would say, okay, take these samples, review our library of scripts or videos, and tell me, can this person, what's your best guess? Can this person edit or write in our style? So almost like ingest samples, push it against our house style and see if it's a good fit.
Is that like creating your own tools that could do what you want it to do? Is that something that you're trying to describe?
Yeah, I don't know. That's a good question. I mean, it's hard because it's like, okay, watch this sample video of a guy who is, an editor who is given us a guy who's a mailman delivering mail and doing editing, and compare it to us working with this shoe brand or this dress wear brand that we've created. Can this person edit in our style? That might be a little hard, but if somebody can give me samples of a script that they've written, might be a little easier because there's a body of text. But we haven't thought much of it. I mean, I'm answering the question because it's a good question, but I think that would be it. It's almost like I would almost use AI to use it in the interview process of discovering new talent.
Yeah, I think we can talk about data augmentation system, and I think that's the only thing that comes to my mind in terms of, because anything that you have data for, you could definitely use a system to replicate or to give you something that you're looking for in another format. I'm not saying I have an answer for you there, but I'm just saying what you're saying definitely is possible. I think it's a matter of you probably thinking more about it, documenting what you want, and then throw it out there and see if there's going to be a taker. But thank you so much for sharing your Magic Wand question.
Yeah.
I want to dive into something you've been very vocal about on LinkedIn. This idea that most businesses don't value video production because their video production doesn't create revenue. That's a powerful statement, but let's start in a broader way. In your own experience, working with companies and entrepreneurs, why do you think so much video content today fail to convert into actual business results?
Great question. That's funny that you say that because I was literally writing a post about that today. I was drafting. Okay, a lot of people who make videos, a lot of smart people who make videos that they believe are smart and their potential consumer base need or want, but it's not. So if you make a video that if you're trying to explain why you and what you can do for them, right? How can you know what somebody wants, or how can you create your own customer avatar? That's hard. But if I inversely tell a story about a client that I had, and I say, oh, I once had this client who needed to make videos. He was very enthusiastic. He was making videos on his phone, but the problem was he kept giving us top 3 tips. And he did the top 3 tips, and he did top 3 tips, but he was only getting about 100 to 150 views and like 1 like, and it was his wife. How do you fix that? Well, I don't look at it like you need to give lists and top 3 choices of doing something or better ways to do that. I believe that if we give people an insight into what we do and we give them what I call hero stories, right? So the hero is the client, right? I helped Joe. Joe was a bakery and Joe made the best bread in the world, but nobody ever knew that Joe did that. And whenever Joe made videos, he was holding a camera like this and he had it up and you couldn't really see his face and you couldn't really hear him. And the oven was so loud versus a video where it's like, let's have a sit down interview with him, mic him up so we can hear him cleanly, let him talk about what got him into making bread in the first place. And then we'll supplement all the cooking in the kitchen stuff as B-roll to make sure that he has a quality video. And after that, we can do one step further, which is my favorite thing to do, is we can do skits where it's almost like we can incorporate a little bit of humor into it, where maybe not everybody gets it, but like, you know what dough is and you know what an oven is. What can we do that shows what Joe does as an expert, but add a little bit of humanity to it, or empathy or some humor, and really show what a baker goes through on his everyday life. Now, you can incorporate customers eventually and have customers come into the bakery and then they can give their input or they can be in the skits. And now when they're in the skits, now all of a sudden Joe's interacting with customers. When people come into the bakery to buy Joe's bread, one of the things they're going to think about is, wow, I saw this in the video, or that's the angle from the video, or, oh, they might ask me to be in the video next. So I just think that 2020 approach of what they call, value entertainment or education or edutainment, whatever, we've heard it all. I don't think that works anymore. I think people don't care and they just keep scrolling, right? But if you tell a story and you can tell a story in an engaging manner, that's going to keep people from scrolling away, right? It's not really, we're seeing a change in content. It's not about flashy edits anymore, and it's not about listicles where you give the top 5 reasons of why you need to eat Joe's bread, or top 5 reasons people with gluten-free needs can have this pastry. Like, it's easier to just tell a story. Hey, I had Linda come into the bakery the other day and she was looking for some gluten-free options, and this is what I gave her, versus actually shooting a skit with Linda coming in saying, hey, do you have anything that's gluten-free? And have everybody kind of pan at Linda and look at Linda and like, do we have gluten-free? Of course we have gluten-free. Then you can make it an entertaining video. So I don't believe in educational content anymore. I think that ship has sailed. I think the whole industry of video making and content creation and branding is really going into what I call like the Geico effect, like the Geico Gecko or Jake from State Farm. These are small individualized films that are in situations that makes people remember. And I think that, entertainment is more linked to memory than education, because not everybody had a great academic experience. Not everybody likes school. Not everybody likes to be told something. But if you tell me a story, I might remember it a little easier, right? Because story can be linked to memory. And that's really what we look at.
That's true. I think we agree with you with the storytelling. I mean, when we are growing, somehow somebody tell us one story, and up till now we may not have forgotten some of those stories. So it's a way of sticking things into our brain. And I think if you're creating a video in that format, I think it's gonna really perform. But thank you so much for sharing that. All right, I just want you to share a specific challenge that you faced when you're trying to help a client shift from just creating content to creating content that actually drives conversions. What is the biggest obstacle that you've seen out there?
Money. It's funny, but it's true. The biggest obstacle that I have clients give me, what it comes down to is a lot of clients will say things, and they're silly things like, "Oh, I can just shoot this on my iPhone." Well, yeah, you can. You can absolutely shoot this on your iPhone, right? And you're not going to get lighting. You're not going to get quality. You're not going to be able to edit it. You're not getting color conversion. You're not getting a massive library of music. But yes, you can shoot it on your iPhone. And they can. There's many successful companies out there. But what they seem to miss a lot is when you want a cinematic video, when you want something that feels like a film, it costs money, right? So like, have our equipment we have to bring, right? And we want to tell a story. I would rather spend a week thinking about your script and really focusing all my assets to make sure that your resources are best put to use. Having them understand that not only do you have to shoot the video, but sometimes paid advertisements on Meta or on TikTok or on YouTube through Google, they're very useful, but they cost money as well. Right? So you might go and shoot a video with me and we might get some content for you for like, let's call it like we do a couple videos. It comes out to like $4,000, which is pretty much like a moderate rate with us. But you're not just getting video, you're getting branding for the video. We're going to explain to you how the video converts, what platform we think we're going to make it on, because the thing is that not all content is created equally. Not all platforms have the same algorithm. You shouldn't post the same video everywhere. You're paying for our expertise and our knowledge of not only all these things, but your business strategy, search engine optimization. Like, we know what titles work on which platforms, right? We have a video right now that has 72,000 views on TikTok for a client, right? Just posted the other day and it has 72,000 views. That same video on YouTube only did 4,000 views. Why? Because of what we were saying, how we said it. And sometimes, and then that same video, by the way, only have like 350 views on Instagram, right? And we learned this and we have to post them everywhere. But eventually it's like, well, the client's like, oh, we should go all in on TikTok. And it's like, well, no, that's not what we should do. Here's why: we'll make similar videos to that one on TikTok, but we're not going to post those same similar videos on Instagram because it's terrible. So you're paying for expertise, understanding, and then direction. Again, like, other people may be a little cheaper than us. They may be more expensive. The one thing I do know is that when you have a director on set, which is what we have, you have a cinematographer on set, which is what we have. The cinematographer is focused on the camera and the lens and the lighting and making sure that you look great on that camera. And the director is making sure you feel great and sound confident. So you have one person focused on you as the subject, making sure that you come off professionally and good, and making sure that you convey a strong message. You have another person who's just focused on what you look like and if the microphone is working. That is two different brains that you're getting for your one project. So when I say, money is the issue, it really is, because small business owners, they don't have all these funds to take a risk. And when we make videos with somebody, we can't feel like an expense. We can't feel like a risk. What we do has to feel like an investment. And in order to feel like an investment, you have to risk. That's how an investment works. You put money into the stock market, there's no guarantee you're going to get it back. But with us, we try to make it as foolproof as possible, which is why we'll quote somebody on a project and say, hey, we could do the video for this much money. We're going to think you need about $1,000 of ad spend. We're going to spend that across the next 45 days, and we're going to test and test and test. But the beauty of this is, once we're done testing, next month, we don't come back and shoot. We might not have to. We just have to run more ads. Or maybe we got so much traction and we have to come and shoot. And maybe the video got enough traction without any spend. and we shouldn't spend money. We just have to double down on the amount of content we're promoting for you and producing. So it's not just the money, but it's how to budget it to make sure that people get the most quality out of it. And that's hard because when you present yourself as a video production team, people don't understand that there's, between the two of us, each of us having 15 years of business before that. So, I was a general manager. I did budgets all the time, right? I understood money. I understood sales, the economics of a business, as did Mike, allowing them to understand that you're not just getting two creatives, but you're getting two business strategists along with it. And that really comes down to the money.
Yeah, money is very key in any business to survive. And I think that's the reason why a lot of business at the early stage couldn't make it, because there's no continuous cash flow. And I think if that could be sorted, then I believe every business will continue to move forward from there. But thank you so much for sharing that. All right. So I want to know if you can share just maybe one example of the best solution that you were able to offer a client, that you can share with us. What was the issue they were facing, and what was the solution and the result that you were able to get for them?
Yeah. So we have a client, they're a mortgage lender, and we came in to shoot some videos for them. It was the first month we shot with them. They had now we were new with them. We were a smaller business back then. We were brand new to them. It was the first month of the contract. We were super excited. It was a really good contract. And the retainer was for 12 months. And we went in and we shot some content with them. They had a specific room in their office. Oh, we're a mobile studio, by the way. We go to the client. We actually did that strategically. So we're a mobile studio that we go to the client's place of work, because then they don't have to worry about coming to us. So we're not distracting them from their whole day, right? We only distract them for like 3 hours of their day. So we go in and we shoot, and they have a room that they want us to use. The room had terrible lighting, and we brought our lights, but we could only do what we could do. They wanted to sit behind a table, like sit behind a table like it was like a news show. Okay, no problem. They had their scripts written from ChatGPT. Okay, no problem. And they wanted to just shoot. So we start shooting, and I'm giving them my script notes, and they were like, all right, I want to do it like this. I want to do it like this. So we shoot everything. We send it back to them. They didn't like it, right? We tried to shoot another. I said, listen, let's just shoot one more time. Let's see how we can do it. But I really think that my vision for you guys is we need to do skits. You need to do funny things that people will remember you. Mortgages are boring. We can give information, which is fine, but I really want to do skits with you. Okay, we'll do skits. Next time we go, they have their scripts. They tell me, okay, we'll do skits next time. Okay. The editing got a little better from what they wanted. They had a vision. We didn't succeed in the vision. Second time around, we succeeded in the vision. But then I was told, they feel a little dull. We're not sure if we want to continue the contract. So I said, please, can we just use a different room? Can you guys not be sitting at a table? Can we be standing? And can I get the scripts ahead of time so I can help? They obliged. It was a free production. We didn't charge them for this one. We went and shot, we edited, we did everything, and they loved it. Now, we still didn't do a skit though, but they loved the fact that I got them standing, I was interacting with them, I rewrote a lot of the scripts completely. I'm like, don't say this, do this with your hands, step forward. They took direction really well. They were all former athletes, so usually when we work with athletes, we've learned that a lot of athletes are really good clients because they are coachable, right? Because they played a sport their whole life. So it worked out well. Then finally, in the 5th or 6th month, I got the call from one of them like, hey, what do you mean skits? And I was rejoicing. I'm like, hallelujah, somebody heard me. We go, and when he tells me he wants to do skits and whatever, I said, listen, just trust me. Give me whatever script you want. But when you're acting, just trust me. And he goes, oh, I'm not sure if I want to act. And I said, just trust me. So he trusted me, and we did a skit, and it was funny, right? These guys were laughing. They're having a good time shooting it. We edited it. It came out great. I tell you now, Emmanuel, I tell you right now they all do skits. All of them. Sometimes they'll do their little hey, 3 ways to get a mortgage today or whatever. But today, they're all doing skits. We've done CSI Mortgage Edition. We've done Elf parody, like the Christmas movie Elf. We've done a parody for that. We just did a Step Brothers parody. We're literally taking movies that everybody feel and look as familiar, and we're creating parodies and making them for mortgages. And these guys all last year, so that was our first year, now we're into our second year. Last year, towards the end of last year, we had 3 guys in that office have record-breaking months. Not because of the video. I'm not going to say the videos did everything. But what I will say is when I get a text message of a screenshot from somebody saying, hey, I saw your content, I'd like to get a mortgage with you. When I get that screenshot from the mortgage officers, that made my day. And this happens like, hey, I got a deal because somebody saw my video. Hey, a realtor's working with me now because now I got a video. So we took this and my vision, and if I said this to them in the beginning, they would have thought I was crazy. But I said skits. But my vision was to create a cinematic universe for their office. Now, if I would have said to them, I want to make a Marvel cinematic universe for your mortgage outfit, they would have thought I was crazy. And while I am crazy, I wasn't crazy enough to say it. I just said, let's do skits. But now they have characters who they pretend to be. So when they need to use an alias, they have an alias. One guy's name is Tom. He says that his name is Tim when we need the alias. We have Mike, his alias's name is Mitch. So we're doing these skits and people are reading the comments of these skits and people are legitimately like entertained. And these views, like we have one of their skits got 14,000 views the other day on just one platform. Across all platforms, it was like 20 plus thousand. So when you work with a creative, when you work with us, the one thing that we bring differently is this vision of we can take your business, whatever your business is, and we can make it entertaining because we have a cinematographer and a director who live and breathe and consume filmmaking, not social media content. We consume filmmaking. So when people say, why do their videos look different? It's because we're not making social media videos. We're making film style videos for social and for ads. So we're not sitting here trying to compete with the people around us. I'm competing with the director of a new Nike commercial. That's how I look at it, right? Because at the end of the day, we're all competing for attention. And I believe that entertainment creates better attention and better long-lasting memories for viewers.
Wow, fantastic. Thank you for that detail. Let me just ask you this disruptive question. Do you think everything you're doing today, it will get a stage whereby AI could be able to do it?
No, because, well, not yet. Language models can't. Well, I guess if you had an AI model that you can say, okay, here are the 10 best screenwriters of these genres, and here are the best 10 directors of these genres, and here's the best 10 actors and actresses of these genres. Now, in real time, this is why I say no. In real time, as the talent is speaking and doing their scripts or performing, you need to have the ability to direct them using all this memory. I don't think AI is there. I don't know if it ever will be because you're asking it to watch and ingest something as it's being recorded and then have taste, right? The one thing that AI can't replicate is taste. It can copy style, it can copy cadence, but it can't recognize taste because taste is who we are as people. Taste is personality, and taste is the ability to feel what other people can feel after they watch a video. But you have to be able to do that in the production stages.
All right, thank you so much. Now, you're solving, problems for companies, helping them doing video, getting tractions, conversion. Is there anything that also makes you, wakes you up at night? Is there anything that wakes you up at night? Is there any one challenge that probably you think, oh, if we're able to solve these, I think our company will be better?
Yeah, 2 things. Money, right? Because money makes money. But more importantly, I would say, because you said what makes me get worried at night, right? It's always that, right? It's always money. Oh, we have more bills. I need to hire another editor. That means I need this many more clients to hire the editor, to give them full-time work, and make sure they're not going to, leave me or work for another company. And I need their attention here because they're really good. But the other thing I would say is clients, getting new clients, right? Because we've tried everything. We've tried Facebook ads. They don't work, right? And the reason they don't work is twofold. One, because when you run ads as a video production company, there's other video production companies doing it. Now, how do you compete with that where other people are saying, I can make great videos, I can make great videos. I can say anything I want to say, right? But if one person that's a business owner or entrepreneur has a bad experience with a videography business, they feel that a production company can't do it because they had last time I did this, I didn't like blah, blah, blah. So my retort to that every time, the rebuttal that I have is, if you have a bad experience at your favorite fast food chain, are you never going to go to that fast food chain again? Or are you just going to go and find another building? Well, no, I'll just go find another building. Great. I'm another building. And that's really like the challenge, is getting new clients, because our business, it's so funny. We are B2B, and being a B2B video production company is not easy because when you talk to business owners, they think you're trying to sell them something. I'm not trying to sell them video production. I am trying to sell them more clients using video production. And when you're selling to customers, B2C, that's great listen, we have a lot of success. When I'm running meta campaigns for my clients, they're very happy with how it comes out. We make the video. I know how to work meta ads. I can pinpoint exactly who they want. They're extremely happy with the videos that we make and the outcomes it produces and the revenue that it directs. For ourselves, it's very hard because there is trust involved, because what we do is medium ticket and high ticket, trying to produce more than that. If I make a video for $10,000, I want it to produce $50,000 for you, right? And I think that people are jaded when they watch a Facebook ad that says you can make more money with more videos, or here's how to make a better video. There's so many gurus out there that watch 5 YouTube videos and all of a sudden think they're a professional. And they're not as quality, and they don't have a director, and it's just one guy with a camera who shows up and says, go. So the biggest challenge that I have as we're growing this business is finding cold leads who will give us the time of day to have a conversation.
All right. Thank you so much for sharing. But if I may do a follow-up, is there anything you've done to solve this problem?
Well, there's something I'm actively doing. I have decided it's very hard to see what a director does with the camera because the camera's pointed the other way. So we're starting to gather footage and content of me directing and of Mike being the cinematographer. And I'm starting a newsletter now on Substack. It's called Directed Revenue. And I'm coming out with this newsletter, and I'm going to be promoting it and pushing it to try to let people see a little bit more of what's going on in my head. And at the same time, I've been toying with the idea of doing micro vlogs for TikTok and YouTube shorts. So right now, that's kind of where I'm trying to move forward. But I'm always open to listening and getting, because even if I have those things, I still need to get people to the newsletter so I can own the audience. And that's really my biggest hurdle right now, is not hurdle, but my next challenge, right? I see the hurdles on the horizon, but my next challenge is growing this newsletter to getting people into understanding more about what I do. I just wrote an ebook recently. So the ebook I had to have the free offer before I had the Substack. So I have an ebook called Don't Post It Everywhere. And Don't Post It Everywhere is a 17-page ebook that basically explains what type of videos work on which platforms. And then I have 17 basically script prompts for ChatGPT to help people out as well inside of there. And then 17 brand building questions.
Thank you. Let me just play devil's advocate. So you're doing skits for organizations that convert and help them get new clients. Is that not possible that you use the same methodology for yourself?
It is. And that's exactly what we're experimenting. So when I said we're experimenting with new ways to do that, so we're starting to do that to help them understand what we're trying to do and get in there. And one step better than that is we're going to be collaborating with these clients. So when we post on the platforms, their audiences will see them as well. So, that's definitely, we've done a bunch of those skits in the past where it's how a director shows up to a production day, how a cinematographer shows up to the production day. What happens when the cinematographer walks away and the director needs to use the camera? So we've done all these skits when a director's left alone with a camera versus when a client tries to speak to the cinematographer and the director stepped away. So it's like these funny little skits showing like our personalities, Mike and my personalities. So we have done it in the past. We've done a good amount of those videos. We've done even a podcast setting where we're sitting down. Neither have really converted for us. I think, in my opinion, the best thing that works for me with somebody is to have a conversation with them to open up their eyes to what we actually do. Because the biggest thing that we've heard from clients, and this is our fault, which is why we're revamping our website now. People have said, I didn't know you do that. You do that too? Or, hey, I didn't realize you also offered this service. And I'm like, shit, because we're so focused as a video production company, people don't realize that we can run meta ads, we can do copywriting. So I'm revamping our entire website now to reflect all the various services we have rather than feel like just a video production with social media content business.
All right. Thank you so much for sharing that. As we wrap up, there's one big question that I always love to ask any of our guests. Now, maybe you and your partner at the same time. I don't want to say you because that may be a straightforward answer. So if both of you and yourself and Mike decide to go on a 6-month sabbatical, how do you think your business will perform? Do you think it will continue to grow or it's going to plateau?
You'd be dead in the water.
Why?
Because I don't have an assistant director and he doesn't have an assistant cinematographer that we're teaching.
Okay, let me ask in another way. Maybe one of you, maybe you 6 months or he 6 months and one stay back. What would be the answer?
If I took a sabbatical, could continue to push the content, it would be hard to do it because we would fall into the realm of being back to what our competitors do when there's not a director on set and there's one person who has to do all the work. That would create inefficiencies. I am the handler of all business. He is the handler of all tech. We both handle creative. So all the business would be more on his shoulders, right? So having to take care of the bills, having to pay our vendors, having to collect our retainer fees, getting new clients, right? Like typically, like I would say like 65 to 70% of the time, I'm the one who makes new contact first. And then I bring him in. 30% of the time he brings me in when he meets somebody. So yeah, that's how that goes. Inversely, I would say I would be dead in the water because I don't know how to work the equipment. And honestly, I don't have a need. I don't want to know how the equipment works because if I'm the kind of person, if I know how something works, I gravitate to trying to take control. And I don't want that. I want him to have control of how everything works. I have in my head what I want the shot to look like and what I want the client to sound and look like. He needs to do that side. So I would have a very tough time without him and he is a better editor than I am as well. I mean, I know how to edit too, but he is a better editor at this point than I am. I'm more of a visionary kind of person, which is why I'm the director, which is why I'm scripting. So it would be very difficult.
All right. So is it safe for me to say both of you have your business in your head?
Creative side, yes. The business side is everything's on paper. We have a CRM. We obviously we know from my background, like I built our CRM system, which we have the business's system. So we're using QuickBooks. Like I know how to use that from previous businesses that I worked in. I have the data. I know the forecasts. We actually hit our forecast last year we went 20% over our forecast, I was shocked actually. And so, yeah, I mean, to put it cleanly, we have all the systems are in place. It's just creatively everything is in our head, but not the business. The business, everything's on paper. Everything has a paper trail.
Oh.
And too, with the equipment too. Equipment has a paper trail as well.
Yeah, but if you're not there, no one could run it because they don't know what you do, even though you have a system.
But we have the processes put there, right? Like if Mike had to pay somebody, he knows how to do that because I've left a little documentation. So there is okay, let me go backwards. There is documentation on how to work all of our resource management system. There's no documentation on how to work the technical.
Why not?
Because, well, it's pretty simple. Because it's ever changing. So the second a document is done, Mike has bought another piece of equipment, or we have sunsetted an old process for a more efficient process. So it's so ever changing that documentation on the technical side really comes down to know-how. Yeah, that's the answer.
All right. Thank you so much. All right. As we wrap up, if you have one piece of advice that you could give another business owner especially those that fit your ideal client that are struggling for what your company could do? What would the advice be?
Trust professionals to do their job the same way your customers trust you to do yours.
Short and simple. Thank you. Okay. If as listener, probably a business owner, after listening, watching the podcast, they're like, oh, wow, this is the kind of people I've been looking for. How can they find you?
So I'm on all platforms. Sal B Creates is the name across all platforms. So SALBCREATES. And then they could always, it's a short and simple. It's my email is salb@recapcultr.com. That's the best ways to reach me. I'm always looking at my DMs, right? Because I'm always in there. I'm always looking at my email. So best way to reach me is just look for Sal B Creates.
All right. Thank you so much, Sal. It has been an incredible and valuable discussion. Like I always say, there's always one unique thing in every business owner. You are into video production, not just for the sake of creating video or movies, but actually to make it a productive video that we convert,
Yeah.
which is a different ball game entirely, and I can tell you now that I have learned a lot, and I know our audience will definitely learn a lot and know that, well, there is more to video production. It's not just for the entertainment. But thank you so much for coming through. Thank you for sharing this valuable insight. And I can say that we wish you well in your endeavor. And hopefully, hope it's not a strategy. So I take that back. So I believe that one day your magic wand question, answer definitely will be a reality. But thank you so much.
Well, thank you for having me. I really appreciate it. Thank you. This was fun.
You didn't quit your day job to become a full-time admin assistant. The Intelligence Forge podcast is sponsored by Permasize AI Forge. At Permasize AI Forge, we know you didn't start your business to spend 60 hours a week on paperwork, chasing leads, and managing endless admin tasks. You started it to build something meaningful and serve your clients. But right now, you're trapped in the day-to-day grind instead of growing your business. What if I told you our clients are reclaiming 15, 20 hours per week, increasing their revenue by 30 to 50% within 6, 12 months, and finally getting their lives back? We don't just automate random tasks. We build custom AI systems that eliminate the bottlenecks choking your growth, from leads generation to lead, nurturing and management to project management to client follow-ups. Stop paying for an expensive, frustrating manual system. It's time to upgrade to strategic automation. Visit PermasizeAIForge.com and book your free business transformation strategy call today. Discover exactly how much time and money you're losing to manual processes and how to get both back. And don't forget to like this video, subscribe to the Intelligence Forge, and hit that notification bell so you never miss an episode packed with game-changing insights. Your future automated business is waiting.